across the length and breadth of Liberia, and it's a pleasure indeed to be here with you today. Thank you so much for the invitation.
I mean, the voice tells me that you're not strange to this microphone.
Oh, indeed. I always been in it for a very, very long time.
And
So,
welcome back to Liberia after a few times in the States.
actually, United Kingdom, based in London. So,
Oh, okay, the
yeah,
UK.
yeah.
Great.
Thank you
Yeah.
so much. And we're back. And it's always good to be back home anyway.
Yes, so I mean, while you were in the UK, there was some decisive decision. I remember you. I've done a lot of interview, and one of your calls has always been the need for the establishment of the War and Economic Crimes Court. In May this year, the president made a decisive decision in order, gave an executive order to establish the courts with the appointment of this chairperson. I mean, how do you look at that effort, and what does the future look for Liberia in the midst of all these different unfoldings?
Well, Marin, first of all, to be honest, I never thought I was going to see this day coming while I'm alive.
But you campaign,
Yeah.
you were one of the more voices.
Yes, and stay due to the intransigency of past leaders, especially former President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, former President George Weah, due to the fact that they didn't give us attention when we were calling for the establishment of War and Economic Crimes Court for Liberia. Well, I really thought that is something that wasn't going to be realized
In your lifetime?
In my lifetime. I used to, yeah, even though I used to meet, individuals from international
So
community side.
why then were you campaigning? You were shouting
Well,
all loud.
yeah,
in
the thing
crowd.
is that you got to have hope, and hope was the one that was something that kept me moving. Hope actually kept me to say, well, I have to keep investing into this. I will leave the UK, leave my family, take a time off job. Sometimes I come here for 2-3 days, protest, and go back as well. So it was all about hope. Despite the fact we were given cold shoulders most of the times, but I thought not to give up because this country deserve justice for what happened here after 14 years of civil upheavals and things. And so that's what kept me moving, Emmanuel, is hope. And so despite the fact, yes, as a human, I'll say, well, I'm fighting. Yeah, the people that don't listen to all, they're not even listening to us.
But now
Yeah.
the president, has taken this as one of his priorities. Now, in the midst of all the hallo baloo, people say no need, there should be back home, be back home. I
Yeah.
mean, the peace needs to reign. You don't want to go and freshen up some old wounds. Now the courts, even though it has not been established in totality, but you can see there's something happening. What
Yeah.
does this mean for our judicial system?
First of all, it means a lot for the country itself, the country dignity. The lost glory of this country, the lost dignity of this country have to be renewed. And if the only way we can actually renew it is by virtue of us instituting what we have been calling for, the establishment of War and Economic Crimes Court for Liberia, so that at least precedent can be set, and so that people can't continue to go with impunity, so that our children who are growing up today and who are a majority of them are actually confused right now. People are always been watching them, so they can't go tomorrow and say, well, the best way and to get rich and to get to state power is by virtue of going in the bush, take gun, start shooting people, and you get to power. So obviously, for us to reach to this point after so many years, I started the campaign in 2009 after visiting the trial of President Charles Taylor twice in The Hague, and I saw what was happening there and what was going there after visiting Rwanda, after visiting South Africa, and researching about the TRCs as well. And so in 2009, I just decided, well, you know why? Yes, I'm not the only victim of the war in Liberia. All of us are a victim of this war. And so the people who actually brought this war, who imported this war, who sold our resources to fund the war, I don't think they should get away with it, so that we can set the precedent. So yeah, that's when, in fact, I I funded Justice Forum Liberia in the United Kingdom, and started the advocacy. And Emmanuel started using my own, high-end money to put into the advocacy, traveling here and there, where I have to go to Rwanda, where I have to go to Sierra Leone to go do fact-finding investigation, and there as well. So I am not actually right now where I am now. I am so glad that the office has been established. This office is the office that is going to give birth to the court itself, wherein, as I've followed other countries as well, wherein president and other people will be appointed to serve on the court. And so I'm glad that I'm now alive to see something like this happen, and I'm also glad that the President Joseph Nyomo Boakai Senior, listened to us and listened to our call. Yes, he was monitoring and he was seeing what was going on when he was vice president. Even at the time, even the former leadership of the former government, I used to really be close with them as well, for us to push, always pushing for this war council to be established.
So what difference now would the establishment of this court make, owing to the fact that you still have some of the bread and butter issues being unsettled or unresolved?
Huge difference. This huge difference. What we're waiting for now is and that's why, for me, like I said, I have decided, I have invested in this so much, and I'm not going to relent anymore. What now? I'm doing now. My being in the country. Each time I have the opportunity to sit with the president. Mr. President, thank you so much. You're listening to our call. All we want now is let's do it as speedily as possible. In the next 2 years, also we want to see the trial going on in Liberia as well. And so I am hoping that this process will also be assisted by international community, of course, something that I also championed through the British government then. And I got a great response from there as well. So I can see light of it coming to light as well. And people who actually destroyed this nation and destroyed the future of our children will one day give account of what it did in this country.
I mean, what policy measures or reforms do you believe are most critical, for advancing social justice and human rights issues in Liberia? The fact that the Office of the War and Economic Crimes Court has been established by the president.
Yeah. Emmanuel, one thing I really want to let our people know about this quest is that the Friends of Liberia, I'm talking about the international community.
Okay.
A lot of them are in support of this call. And perhaps it's a shame that it took so much long for us to even reach to the stage as well. But yes, it took long time, and some people perhaps, long time gave up as well. Okay. But despite the fact the length of the time it has taken, all I want to say, I'm gratified that we have a leader now who listened to us and who decided to say, well, you know why? After all of these years, listening to seeing our children in the street and calling for this establishment of the War and Economic Crimes Court, that's the time that I affects my signature on it. And so right now, what I am doing is to continue to engage our international partners from the human rights perspectives as well, encouraging them not to give up. In fact, this is the meantime now for us to get the support that we need, similar to that of the support that Sierra Leone got when they established the special court for Sierra Leone, in which former President Charles Taylor was put on the trial. And many Sierra Leoneans, up to now, as I speak to you, Sierra Leoneans are still going to jail in Rwanda, have been sent there because of what they did to Sierra Leone also. So a great change has taken place there due to this particular impunity being kicked out.
And I believe you see a lot of prospects.
Oh yeah, I see a lot of prospects, and that's why I'll continue to champion this and also engage with this leadership, the leadership of President Joseph Nyomo Boakai, to to continue listening to us
Great.
in terms of advancing, recommendations, advancing, ideas and ideals as to how we can actually put this code on the ground, and who can actually or who should actually be on this code here. There are two distinctions here which people are getting confused of. The office that have been established, the office of the war crimes court, is different from the war crime court itself.
Sure.
Yeah, and so there are a lot of people who have had some issues with the appointment of Masakua, who is there to head this code
Process.
or this process. Yeah, he is there. I want people to know this. He is there on board to help the government, together with all of us, especially from the civil society organization, to work together to establish the code. And once this code is established, then the entourage of the court, which would be headed by a president of the court, will also be selected, nominated, perhaps vetted, and then president, based on the recommendation, the president will make the appointment, and then the rest of the judges will also be, whether it will be mixed, international lawyers of Liberia, or so, it will be mixed or so. But then, by the time that could be established, the work of the office will not be anything again that will supersede the court itself.
Great. I mean, what's your take, Mr. Pakio, on the new trends in terms of our state governance? Just recent times, you saw on videos some former government officials, were being, indicted and arrested and subsequently taken to prison for alleged acts of corruption. With these different happenings, what do you sense?
From what I'm seeing so far, in terms of the quest of fighting corruption by this government, in which a couple of individuals, Liberians, who have served in the government, in the past government, are now being asked to come and give reasons for reasons that they have been called upon.
Okay.
I think this is a great call.
You call it a great call?
Yeah, a great call for Liberia to, let me repeat again, to regain her lost dignity. Corruption have destroyed this nation so badly.
You think by going after a few group of people, will help to eliminate or to tackle the issue of corruption
At least
at a larger scale? Do you think so?
At least the philosopher, a Chinese philosopher, said that 1,000 miles walk begin with a single step.
So how can you describe these efforts by the government?
I'm trying to qualify by you.
I mean,
saying,
in terms of how can you quantify
this small group of people or so. Let me tell you, even if it was only one person that was being indicted, and that person have gone through the proceedings, that's the legal proceedings, either they are free to go or now they are charged or so, Liberia will still be winning. The children of the life of this country will still be winning. The future of this nation, in which our children life is questionable right now, will still be winning. So to say that at least up to 2, 3, 4, 5 people, Liberians who served this nation in the past, to be called upon to come and answer some questions relative to corruption charges, unless these allegations are otherwise perhaps won by the accused, Liberia still stands as a nation that hasn't been prepared to fight corruption. And this shame is on us, except for people who actually, and I don't blame them, because if you don't engage with people that are actually helping you, sometimes you don't even get to know what is going on. But every day and every time I engaged with the international community, even embassies closest here,
Okay.
and what I hear every time, and then sometimes I feel so sad for my country, and at times I feel regret so much that we have a nation that is over 100 years old, and up to now, this nation can't provide for her citizens.
What's the attribution?
But it's all boiled down to selfishness, corruption, and self-centeredness of individuals. They want to just have it and have it for themselves and in their immediate family.
What can be done differently to ensuring that Liberia can once again, take her place among the Committee of Nations?
And this is the process we have seen now by virtue of people being asked to come and give account of their work yesterday. And so once we get people who will be found guilty of the crimes being accused, and punishment is leveled against them, obviously even our own international partners who always helping us, they will also feel pleased. And I think it will also set not even I think, but it was also set a deterrent for Emmanuel, who would perhaps in the next couple of years or so, Mohammed will be given, let's say Emmanuel will be given the responsibility to head the Ministry of Information. And so he himself will be going there with the mind that if I make a clumsy mistake, I know I'm going to lose my job.
What sort of impact has corruption had on Liberia over the years?
Well, let me put this in my own context, because of corruption, the war came. And 1990 was a year, as far as my time on the planet is concerned. 1990 would have been the year that my future was starting. But unfortunately, it was mortgaged by the Civil War. And who brought about the Civil War? Liberians. Why they brought it? They said it was about corruption. We saw it at BTC when 13 Liberians, brain people, fathers, grandfathers were put on the left poles, and they said, well, now we have killed these 13 people. Corruption is over. But what happened? Though came the same old thing. It continued until other groups came and said, well, he's too corrupt. We got to get him out or so. So from one point to another, there has been no advancement. All of our institutions and national institutions that are catering to us, whether it's hospitals, whether universities or colleges and things, everything went down in drain. Look at the state of the country. This is the country that people normally refer to as the first independent country of Africa or so. People always referring it to that, to it that way. Look at the state. Look at the state of this country. I have traveled at least to up to 10 different African countries. Some of them, we are 3 times older than them. You get into these capital cities, you won't believe, you will not even believe that you are in Africa. So corruption impact has been so much devastating on all of us, to the extent that even the next 20 years, if nothing is done now between now and the next 10 years, obviously generations of that will start their lives somewhere in 2030 will still be affected. And that's my fear. And I really want corruption to be fighted.
You think what can be done to tackle this head on?
One, I was talking to the intellectuals the last time I see you. One, we have to take patriotism to be something very important.
You think that is lacking?
Oh yeah. That's lack of patriotism can even make you to become corrupt, because once you are not patriotic to your country, there's nothing you're going to like about it. You will rather want to reap out of it, but not to give your country anything. And then also discipline. I think we also need to go and start, like I was telling the guys the last time, we need to also start with our children now, to tell them the truth and teach them the truth and train them the truth about corruption, the effect of corruption.
To be more accountable?
Yeah. And train our children from their homes also. Because remember, this disease we're talking about is in every community, whether it's in the church, at the mosque, it's there. Community groups, it's there. And so my only encouragement and thought is that, first of all, let us let us embed patriotism in our hearts. Let's put this country first and its people. Let's let's have the heart of giving back to this nation than always taking from this nation.
You think what will happen if we start to, have a change of behavior and attitude about Liberia?
Definitely. I know we can get back on track and change of behavior. Sometimes, again, you have to, government, especially the executive or the lawmakers, have to also take a stance in most instances. So the trend is this: we, all of us, especially from the executive to the lawmakers, they also need to help to fight this disease.
You call it a disease?
It is a disease. It is endemic, and unless all of us decide to say, no matter who name is mentioned, go and face justice. Unless we sincerely dig down in our hearts and think about the future of our children and the future of this nation, then of course, to exercise it by saying that, look, it doesn't matter, it's my uncle. So long he or she, my auntie, has been accused of this, I would rather support them to go through the legal process instead of me going to take over banners and go stand over there and say Max is innocent when Max was just 2 hours ago accused of corruption.
The thing is, almost every government that comes to power will always run a campaign to fighting corruption, and sometimes if they get elected, the stories change.
I just shared a story with you just now. When they PRC came to power, they came with a mantle. They said that Doe was too corrupt, and Tobot was too corrupt, and by killing 13 people, corruption was finished. But where are we? And so this is something that is so much embedded in our bloods, to the extent they made us not to love this nation. Imagine, I move around just within Montserrat, not even Greater Montserrat County, but just within Montserrat County, you still have, community roads are not accessible. It is corruption. You still have children sitting on the bare floor to read ABC. It is due to corruption. Unless we dig deep down in our hearts and say, you know why, from today, I want to become a patriotic son or daughter of this nation. And there's nothing else but Liberia. All is about Liberia. Obviously, it is not going to work. And all of us have to fight corruption tooth and nails. And I want to use the medium once again, especially young people. I want to call upon you. You need to wake up to the reality that your future is still being mortgaged, and there's no one yet to even repay the mortgage so you can get free and you can then begin to enjoy something before your children.
Great.
You got to think wise and do something sensibly.
Maxine Pakiri is the Executive Director of Restoring Hope International. Let's talk about your group. Just short briefly. What is it all about? As we maybe take a few calls.
We're talking about the organization.
Yes, your newly formed
Restoring Hope. Yeah, restoring. As you can tell from the name, Restoring Hope. A lot of hopes have been dashed by individuals, but especially young women, young girls from difficult backgrounds. Some of them, maybe sometime at most, they will stop in the 10th grade, 9th grade, 11th, no way to continue. Perhaps due to difficulties in terms of finding support or so. And then across the country as well. Last time I checked, when I was doing the research, it should be nearly about 15% of our total population with some form of disabilities.
Okay.
And so, Restoring Hope Foundation Liberia main aim is to restore hope in these communities, especially members of the disabled community, young girls and young women, wherein we are hoping to come in to do is a form of rescue where we can restore hope that despite the fact you end up in the temporary and you don't have the opportunity to go further, there are still rooms that you can become somebody by virtue of us finding a vocational training institution, send them, they go and learn something that they can be an independent person and also be a contributor to Liberia. For the disabled children, what we want to do, because disability in Liberia is like, once you have a disability, even your own parents won't want to spend money on you to go to school. The children with disability are always at home, or so they don't go to school. And so our quest, what we want to do is to go from one village to another, one town to another, find out this disabled child that stays sitting home, try to pay money for them to go to school so that they also can be somebody in the future. So that's the whole concept about Restoring Hope Foundation Liberia, to restore hope where hope has lost.
Great. I mean, if you were privileged, Mr. Bakio,
Yeah.
to sit with the president right now, what would be those key things you think, if he does, Liberia will be better?
I've always sat with him. I think I've sat with him since I came, but on the 19th of
What-
July.
what did
at
you-
least,
What
at
did you
least,
tell him? What did you tell him?
the me meeting is
Yes.
coming. The me meeting is coming next week. But on this, when I came to launch, he should have been our key launcher. In fact, but he was represented by the Minister of Education as well. Um, uh, I'm trying to reserve these answers because
for
I'm
the
having
sake
a
of-
meeting one-on-one tomorrow, and I can let me try to just give you my point of focus.
Okay, holistic issues.
My point of focus. I'm going to be talking more about the War and Economic Crimes Code. I'm going to be talking about opportunity for young people.
Okay.
I'm going to be reminding the president of the need to invest in science and technology for our brilliant young guys to leave from here and go study. We have huge opportunity, especially in the United Kingdom. I'm going to be talking to the president as well to remind him that there are persons, citizens, constituents with disabilities in this country who are qualified to serve in any position. And there is a need that the president should pay attention to that as well. And then I'm also going to be talking on your behalf as well, generally for media to be paid attention to as well in the context of the wider media I'm talking about here. So a whole range of issues, but mostly again, I'm going to be reminding the president of the significance of doing the right thing to recorrect our mistakes when it comes to human rights report from the international community.
Great. We'll take most 2 to 3 calls. We'll be leaving this interview at 5:20. We have 5 minutes to go. 0770 5677 64 0770 5677 64 0888 4086 58 0888 4086 58 0770 5677 64. Mr. Maxine Bakio is the Executive Director for Restoring Hope Foundation International. We're talking about the fight against corruption. And I mean, he has been one of the lead campaigners for the establishment of the War and Economic Crimes Courts in Liberia. Maybe we can take 1 or 2 of your calls and we get to him. He has some all very engaging schedules. So we end this interview at 5:20 and join councillors in Kanswa. And then at 6 o'clock, we go home, giving way for our next radio program. This is the Bumper Show. Today is Wednesday. My name is Emmanuel Colley, 0770 5677 64. This is where you get the very best in broadcasting, and you just want to be a part of this discussion. But on one key issue you talk about, Mr. Park here, was the issue of science and technology, and that is key. But let me talk to this person. Hello, welcome to the Bumper Show.
Hello.
Good day, welcome.
Yeah, this is Jisha calling from Sano County.
Hi, Sino. Welcome to the show.
Yeah, cool. This is man. I'm a vision and person.
Okay.
I just want to commend my brother in the studio. They are listening to him clearly concerned about the issues of disability.
Okay.
Issues in the past government, early government, that the civil people got on.
Oh my God. Oh man, sorry. Yeah, I hope you call back. 0770567764. The issue of leveraging, the issue of STEM education, science and technology is one key area. And I just want you to, because I one of the things you say, if you were to meet the president today, you're going to have
even during the campaign, I remember writing a letter to 4 presidential candidates.
Okay.
It was Ben Yuri at the time. It was Mr. Cummins. It was Mr. Weir and Mr. Wakai.
Okay.
And in my recommendations, one of the things, or I actually highlighted, was science and technology, because as you know, Emmanuel, today, even as we sit right here, it is the technologies are actually allowing us for our father to quote from all the way back there.
Yeah.
And so I think there is a need to invest in it, because it is moving nations far ahead of everyone.
Great. Let me talk to this person. You should be our last caller. Welcome to the show.
Yes, congratulations. I'm Gilles Peter. I'm calling from the district headquarters of George District, the 2. I want to congratulate.
Which county are you calling from?
Yeah, I'm calling for Grand Crew.
Okay. Okay, Grand Crew. Go ahead.
I want to congratulate Grand Radio that relay you people in Grand Crew County.
Thank you. Go ahead. You want to contribute?
Okay, I want to congratulate your studio guys. What we need, I know Mr. Bwaka, the President of the Republic, our official, he will bring 16. The only thing I don't lack is 16. We lack of 16.
Okay.
That is all, and I know he will put in place. So, congratulations for the Rock Code and Economic Code. God bless you. God bless Liberia. Thank you.
Thank you from Grand Crew. Let me talk to this person, the last caller. Hello, welcome to the show.
Oh, thank you very much. My name is Hakotis Victor. I'm calling you from Chicken Soup Factory.
Go ahead, Chief.
Well, I want to say thank you to your studio guests for elaborating on most of our young girls who have, gone for school.
Okay.
For somebody to have come to at least give them an assistance is affordable. And, on the line of corruption, we really want the former president to visit his inauguration statement at the FKD. Why is two us there that former or officials of government that will make themselves rich by the Nigerian people money, they will go to court. Now, from the CDC bill, many people are saying they should not investigate anybody. How are they going to?
I'm not too sure that was I'm not too sure that was a statement, but
if we
yeah.
re-elect him, then how will he fight the corruption if the people are being accused that this person is accused of stealing the Nigerian money? How are they going to get the fact? Are they not waiting for them to go to court, or they should just say everybody who are stolen, let's be like that? Then how the Nigerian country, Nigeria will be developed. That is the problem we are facing now. Okay. So I beg all of them, they should sit together and discuss about this corruption in this country, how it should be fought.
Thank you so much. Yeah, Chief Bagyowe, we have to leave you. Let's get your parting comment. Thank you for being patient and coming. We hope we can find another time to
definitely. You didn't even talk about my book, so
we'll find time. We'll talk for the book. I mean, so interesting.
Yeah, I think we one caller talks about the system. Yeah, and I agree with the caller. Emmanuel, there is no system as yet in this country. Everything has been broken down, and that's why, in fact, sometimes when somebody is on the radio, especially I'm into education. When somebody referred to our sector as educational system, I get kind of angry with them. We don't have a system. We have a sector. And this is a sector that we need to rebuild so that we can build a system. And that's just exactly what when I started with the education minister, I was telling her the last time.
Okay.
There's a need for a national conference where we can come under one palaver halt and talk about education and how to revamp the educational sector of Liberia to build a system. I know we don't have much time now, but
already.
I just want to say thank you so much. Let me let the listener know as well. Thank you so much, Emmanuel, for eating all of the time today that I came. I sat down here for more than 30 minutes. You told me to be here for the 5 minutes. Now you gave me only 20 minutes, and the people want to hear my voice. Nobody hear my voice. Hi, well, thank you so much, and let me say a big thank you to the family of ELBC.
Thank you. We'll find more time to talk about your book and restoring Hope Foundation. And I'm so interested in the work you do and some of the impacts you intend to make.
Thank you very much. God bless.
That's Maxine Pacquiao, a Liberian journalist, an author, and of course, a social rights defender. We'll take a break. When we come back, we'll bring you our next